Taylor Fire is with us today. And gentlemen, from the left, why don't you tell me your name, rank, and how many years you've been a firefighter?
Yeah, I'm Fire Medic Windsor. I've been with the city of Taylor for a year and a half now.
All right.
Lieutenant Stacholski, and I've been with the department for almost 24 years.
All right, so a little difference between you two
Sure
guys in both expertise and time. Why'd you choose firefighting as a career, Jose?
Oh, mine goes way back to Detroit.
Okay.
When I lived in Detroit, I used to ride the bike around, and I lived next to Engine 33, Ladder 13. So I just remember, the firefighter would call me over, go grab me a pop or whatever, buy me a pop or a candy bar, and that kind of got me going. After that, many years later, my boss at the time was going to the academy, so I ran his shop. So
Okay.
just
Sure.
got me going again.
Interesting. Justin, what about you?
Yeah, when I was 17, actually, I kind of have a unique story as well. There's a semi that caught on fire. There was a trailer fire. The tire was on fire, and me and my buddies pulled over and got a bucket of water, put out the fire, and the fire chief pulls up and says, we're looking for volunteers in the community. You should stop by the fire station. And the next Tuesday I showed up. I was 18 years old, senior in high school. Kind of went on from that. The passion grew from him just dedicating time with me. I went into DNR and did forest fire throughout my 20s, protected and saved communities across the country. And then I became a paramedic and landed in Taylor. So from that day, it kind of formed where I am today. It was kind of a unique situation for myself.
Quite the story for both of you, to be honest with you. Does the profession runs in your family, correct?
No.
Oh, no, it doesn't?
No.
Okay, alrighty, okay. Anybody related firefighter, or are you the first?
I'm the first.
Okay, all right, what about you, Justin?
I'm actually the only firefighter in my family, but my brother and my sister-in-law are both state police officers.
Oh, okay.
And then my wife and my sister are both nurses. So
Okay.
kind of the medical field is a little bit in my family.
Alrighty. Why'd you choose Taylor Fire?
I find Taylor's a unique city. It's very busy, broad, different calls. What is unique for me is offers the Western Wayne teams that we can be involved in. It's not only just the community of Taylor, it's the outskirts, being part of HAZMAT, being part of the urban search and rescue teams. So it wasn't just landing on Taylor and it was just a 9-to-5 job. You can do other things for other communities around and be a part of Taylor in other communities. So that's what was interesting for me.
What about you?
Mine was I chose this because after I left Detroit, I came to live here. And I think I was like 16 years old. Our attic caught on fire, and I just watched these guys go to work, and that's what I wanted to do.
Sounds like fire followed you around.
It
a
kind
little
of followed
bit.
me around.
Yeah, that's kind of amazing. Jeez. What are your job responsibilities?
My job responsibilities, I'm the engineer of the truck right now. So getting these guys water, on a fire, or just help training these guys, the new guys, and get them up to skill so one day they can take the reins and start teaching themselves.
Understood. Now, your job responsibilities are interesting because they're kind of evolving.
Yeah, that's
we were
correct.
talking about that beforehand. Why don't you bring us up to date?
Yeah, so like my day-to-day operation, I ride the squad as a paramedic. Go from 1 minute just doing normal medical calls, transferring patients, fighting fires, car accidents. I'm also a part of the Western Wayne USAR team. It's a special team that does special operations like building collapse, high angle rescue, confined space, trench rescue. Then I'm also part of the Michigan Task Force 1, which is the state level team. I specialize in canine handler. I've been training with them since October. I actually get my first dog this weekend. I fly out tomorrow to pick him up. He's going to be part of not only the city, but also Western Wayne and the task force team. So his name is Bunker. So he's going to be the new addition to the fire station.
Oh, that's going to be a heck of a lot of fun.
Oh, we're excited.
Now, you've been there for quite a while. Have we ever had a dog in Taylor Fire?
No.
That's not very common, is it?
No, we've had a couple that we've tried to
Right.
bring in, but nothing like this. This is
Yeah, right now he's a 10-week-old black lab.
Wow,
So his brothers and sisters are going to teams across the country. If not the USAR Urban Search and Rescue teams, different task force. Recent events, if you were watching the news, is Turkey. After the earthquake, there was a bunch of dogs from the United States that went over to Turkey. And so that's what Bunker One Day is, what we're striving to do, is not only have that special piece of equipment essentially in the city, but hopefully across the country we can use something that comes from Taylor.
Right.
So
Well, that's interesting. That's interesting. You got to be looking really forward to that.
pretty
I
excited.
think we all are. I mean, it's kind of like getting a house ready for a baby. He's already working on getting the station ready to go.
Yeah. Dog cages everywhere, toys, and we don't even have a dog yet, so we're pretty excited.
Now, from the profession, okay, any highlight that really jumps out at you right now in your career?
One of the highlights that I have is me and my partner that I'm with today. He's a captain, but him, the deputy chief, and the chief, when we worked suppression all together, we had a child that was a spinal bifida, and she just, I mean, we were trying our best to prolong life to get her to go see a concert and stuff like that, but the family was so happy with what we did. They were able to bring the rest of the family in. She was passing away, but they were able to bring the rest of the family in and say their goodbyes. So just the actions that we took, see how happy it made the family. It makes it all worth it after in the end, you know.
It's fulfilling.
It's a humbling thing. So.
What about you, Justin? Can you top the story that brought you into?
Sure. And that's what's
fire?
unique about firefighting is there's new stories and new adventures every day. Mine probably for the city of Taylor. I think I was only here a month and a half, and I delivered my first child in the field. And a month before, I was a new father myself, so I felt like I was definitely prepared.
Oh my!
But it was something I never thought I would get to do, and I had that experience and rode with the mother and child to the hospital, and everyone was doing well. So it was,
And they named the child after you?
I don't think so, but I might have slid that in there this year. We're going to try.
What about goals and aspirations?
Yeah, goal for me, I would like to get involved in the high schools, different programs to try to get people into this field. There's a national shortage across the country of paramedics and firefighters. And like I was telling you the story earlier, I kind of had an advocate myself, my local fire chief, that led me in this direction. I'm here today because of, you know, that first initial experience. So for me, I want to give back and, you know, go into the high schools, and if it's career day or something like that, I think that's where you get people involved into this career, is like Jose was saying.
Right.
So that's,
What about you,
that's cool
Jose?
for me.
Mine, I mean, it's kind of the same thing. It's, you know, I got in, as we started getting new personnel in, I took on a stronger role as training and doing a lot more training. So what this got me to realize is this is something I think I want to start pursuing, is becoming like a fire instructor. So I brought it up to the chief, and he said, I mean, if it's truly something that I would want, he would help me get to that. So
Sounds like fun.
that's my goal.
Well, that's cool. That's cool. Technology has changed, especially throughout your career, I'm sure.
Yes.
What does anything jump out at you as really key moments where, you know, this type of technology came into play and it really changed the whole game, so to speak?
Well, there's a few things that actually came into play, but what we have is we got a machine that's called a Lucas. I mean, and when you're doing CPR, I mean, it'll wear your team down fast. But this machine, they got better results because it does all the compressions for you. So all you're doing is working on getting the medicine and starting IVs and stuff, instead of your team having to switch out and you jump into that place. I mean, so we're getting better end results for the patients and stuff.
And that's
like
what it's all about.
Yeah, and then there's some other things, our power stretchers and all that stuff. So.
What about you, Justin? Anything jump out at you?
Yeah, I'd say something simple is we're getting into having 2 sets of bunker gear, so after a fire we can take a gear out of service. We have extractors, it's like new washing machines that we found over time that cancer is a huge thing in the fire field. So protecting our guys just by simply taking gear out of service to wash it and having a gear to be put into service and ready for the next call is just something simple like that. It's a huge change in the fire service.
All right, as we bring this to a close, what do you like about Taylor the most? One thing.
My family.
Fantastic. How about you, Justin?
I like the open door policy from the top down. If you have a question, anything like that, if you have suggestions, doors are always open, the ears are always there.
Fantastic. Gentlemen, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Really appreciate
Thank
it.
you
Be
for having
safe
us. Thank
and
you.
continue to do your job. It makes us all a little safer.
Appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for having
All
us.
right.
Have a good day.